Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, I hope you are soon. Okay, today we're going to take a quick look at the newest, biggest, and I believe last expansion set of cards for Iron Helm, designed by Jason Glover. And yeah, this is called the Iron Chest, the Iron Helm expansion. It's a big box expansion. For those of you who don't know yet, but Jason Glover recently designed a t-shirt for the Dungeon Dive, and I will pop a picture of that up here and a link down below that you can get. And it's really cool. I know people are liking the that particular Dungeon Dive design a lot. So we'll take a quick look at Iron Helm with everything inside the box in just a minute. I will also post a link to my original review for Iron Helm. And I think this is a nice little package, this iron chest here. I think it adds some really interesting things to the game. You get one final kind of like dungeon to go through, and then you get three other expansions that you can add to any of your games. So let's take a look at the back of the box here. So this was recently, this went through a crowd sale on the Gamecrafter. I bought this. I was not provided this for a review copy. This is something that I did want to buy. And they are starting to print and deliver now. There was a pretty huge backup. I know things at the Gamecrafter have been moving a little slowly these days, but I just kind of tell people to have patience. Just, back it or not back it, but pay for it at the Gamecrafter, and then just wait with patience until it arrives, and it will arrive, and then you will be happy. So the Iron Chest includes the Lonely Troll Inn, random encounters, the Spire of Zogar, Beasts and Burdens, Realms and Relics, and more. So let's go ahead and see what we get in this box here. I have already taken a look at it and organized it because the cards are kind of out of order there. So you do get 3 plastic minis, which is pretty funny, completely unnecessary, but you could use these to keep track of where you are in the dungeon if you want, instead of the little meeple. Unfortunately, 2 of my little pieces got broken off in shipping. The top of the archer's bow there, and also the wizard's staff, the top of his staff there. These are just, kind of 3D printed minis. I guess the Gamecrafter is starting to get more into printing minis, but these are just kind of extras. I probably will never use these, and I'll probably just kind of keep these off to the side on a shelf or something. You get a green D6, and that is for one of the expansions there. And then you get a whole bunch of cards and some new dividers and some new large cards. So the first thing you're going to want to look at is this Iron Chest rules expansion, or rules clarification. And this tells you all the things you get in the game. It tells you the icon so you can match up your cards, and then how to set up everything, and then how to use all of this stuff. So that's very handy, because sometimes in these big box expansions that come with a lot of stuff, if the documentation isn't well made, then you kind of don't know how to incorporate everything, but very easy to do here. And then we also have this advertisement for Jason Glover's new game coming out sometime in the nearish future, and that is called UnderQuest. Really looking forward to that. And the first big card here is a random encounters table. And those random encounters, there are 6 different random encounters, and you are going to have those in between each level. And sometimes you will have to roll on one, and you can have a certain random counter depending on what you roll. And sometimes you will be told to turn to a certain encounter on this chart, or you can roll. And between each level of the dungeon, you will have to have one of those encounters. So you're going to be using these large cards now to mark your progress through the dungeon. And both sides are different, so you have a different set of encounters, so you can add a little bit of variety to your game like that. One other thing now is like the modules, the little adventures, are broken up into levels. So you have level 1 adventures, which is from the base game, and then you have some level 2 adventure expansions, level 3 expansions, and level 4 expansions. And you do get new card dividers so you can tell which is which. So kind of a cool, mostly an aesthetic thing, but I do like how the different random encounters are different. So you can place, you can have some variety in the game. And in these kinds of games, even adding a little variety can go a long way. And so you also get, like I said, a bunch of new dividers. So you will get dividers for a new set of cards for your artifacts, for your new henchmen, infliction, and environments. These are all brand new decks of cards that you can add to any of your games of Iron Helm. And then here are the new card dividers for the different modules, for the different expansions that tell which level of the dungeon that this is going to coincide with. So you have your Warren of Despair, your Galnox Labyrinth, your Blackened Burrow, your Crystal Caverns, Throne of Embers, and Malicious Refuge. These have all been released already as expansion packs. And then the new one that comes in the Iron Chest is the Spire of Zogar, level 4 dungeon. So that's going to be your final dungeon. And then you also get a few other dividers for some new things in this expansion, and that is the Lonely Troll Inn, Beasts of Burden. Then you can combine your loot and lore or your realms and relics there. So all kinds of cool new dividers to keep everything organized. And then here we have the bulk of the expansion, or the real content of the expansion, and that is the cards themselves. I really love the quality of these Gamecrafter cards. I think they're very, very good. I'm always super happy to get a game that has a lot of cards from the Gamecrafter just because I do like the quality. So this is the Spire of Zogar. Great art, of course, from Jason Glover. And you're going to get this instruction card, a new boss card, 5 plots, 6 enemy cards, and 5 loot cards. And then you will get this little story here. This tells you how to set up your deck for this final version, this final dungeon of the game. And we have our monsters here. These are going to be our minions, your Umrus, your Possessed, and your Bone Lord. And then we have our plot cards here. So some new plot cards to add to your deck. And then some loot here. Seer's Blade, different kind of elixirs, a Cultist Cloak, and a Shield of Draining. And then your final boss here, which is a Zogar. Very cool. Okay, and then your next expansion, little pack from this box, is going to be the Beasts and Burdens. And this is a companion booster meant to complement the base adventure. Again, you have your instructions, you have some inflictions, enemy cards, and plot cards, but they are mini bosses. So this adds some new mini bosses. And your instructions here will tell you how to set up these cards if you want to use them in your base game. Here are the plot cards, and those are 3 mini bosses. So you have the Dread Trodon, the Tundrus, and the Death Knight. And then you get some new monsters here, some new enemies. A Fungal Horror, the Octohedron, the Sentinel, the Fire Troll, the Unblessed, and the Gray Ooze. And then these are the afflictions. So these will actually make the game quite a bit harder. I think just about everything from this Beasts and Burdens expansion makes the base game harder. And so these are afflictions that you will draw to afflict your hero with. That's cocksure, insomnia, plagued, gluttony, necrophobia, enfeeblement, gold lust, and hysteria. I'm not sure if I'll play with these much because I don't like making games harder, but I do like having the option. Maybe you can mix 1 or 2 in to the various decks to kind of augment the difficulty a little bit. And here we have Realms and Relics. This seems like a really cool expansion. I'm really excited for these 2 here. So Realms and Relics here, we have the companion booster meant to complement the base adventure. You have instruction card, you have your 8 artifact cards, and 9 environment cards. Again, you have your instructions here, and then you have 2 decks of artifacts and environments. Environments will modify the dungeon. This is kind of like the Twisted Dungeons from 4 Against Darkness. And each one of these is different. And you will draw one at the beginning of each level, and it will change the way that the dungeon is played. It will add a new kind of wrinkle to your adventure. I really like stuff like this. This is a really cool use of an expansion because it just makes everything you already have just a little bit different. So you have the Bogland, the Frost Glen, the Sanctum, the Plateaus, the Death Grotto, the Watch. That is really cool. The Abandoned, the Parched, and the Shadow. So ways to make your dungeons a little bit different. And then these artifacts here are powerful items that you might have a chance to get when you draw loot. So we have the Doom Bearer, the Belt of Ogre Might, the Golden Morel mushroom there, Revenge, the Divine Plate Mail, the Blood Letter, the Dragon Dung, and the Star of Brahma. So that was the realms and relics. And then finally here we have the Iron Helm, the Lonely Inn Troll. And this is a companion booster meant to complement the base adventure. Again, you get your instruction card, you get your henchman, and a character card, and 8 new trappings to use with your heroes. I really wish that the original expansions came with a card that had the art from the booster pack on the card, because I love this look. That's one thing with those booster packs is as soon as you open them, you get that piece of art anymore. So I'm really glad that Jason included a picture of the package on a card here. Again, you will get your instructions. You get this character. So this is a really weak character. He is Mizlek the Beggar, and he doesn't start out with anything. He's really weak, and this is really going to make the game difficult, but you get bonus points. So if you're into Iron Helm, if you're into keeping score and beating your final score and challenging yourself, you might want to try running through the game with that dude there. And now a really cool expansion here is this deck here of henchmen. So now you can hire henchmen, and those are going to give you certain bonuses as you work your way through the dungeon. What I like about these is each one has a different character profile in the art. That is very cool. I love anything that has new Jason Glover art because he's one of my favorite fantasy artists out there today. So this was a really nice addition here. So you have Bogdana, Yak, Godfrey, and the green D6 that comes with the game will be used for these guys here. Farzad, Olive, Borko, Idis, and Matilda. And then finally, you are going to get some new trappings here. You can take some garlic, some punch daggers, a fire tome, poison dart, studded coif, faith beads, ice tome, and the sharpening stone. That is your final little bit of expansion material there. So now let's see how it all fits back into the box. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to replace your original dividers with these new dividers. So we have your Warren of Despair there. So that was from Adventure Pack 1. And then we have our level 2. Another level 2 is Galnock's Labyrinth. So let's find that. Okay, so that was actually Adventure Pack number 3. And then we have level 3. We have the Blackened Burrow. So there's our Blackened Burrow. So we'll go ahead and place that there. And then level 3, another one is our Crystal Caverns. Adventure Pack number 4 for the Crystal Caverns. Another, let's see, level 2 here. Whoops, I got that mixed up. So that was right here, the Throne of Embers. Go ahead and add that to our Throne of Embers. Level 2, level 2, level 2. There it is. It flipped out of the box. We have our militia's refuge. So that is going to be our level 3. And then we will add our level 4 in for the Spire of Zogar. So let's find the Spire of Zogar. I love that card art right there. I would love that on a shirt. Just without that, just an Iron Helm, that picture, and then the Spire of Zogar. That would be so cool. All right, so that is going to go into there. So then now we have all of our different levels, so we don't need our old Adventure Pack dividers anymore. And then let's see, we have our Iron Helm, Beast of Burdens, and this is going to be our Affliction and some new enemy cards and plot and mini bosses. So our Afflictions, those will have a new set of a new divider here. We can add our Afflictions here and those to the back there. And then our plots for the mini bosses, we can add those to our plot deck. And then we have some new enemies that we can add to our enemies deck. And then we can take our art card and we will just throw that in the back here. So we make sure to hold on to that. And then let's see, next up we have our realms and relics. So you're going to have artifacts and environments. And those have new cards here. So artifacts and environments. We will take our environments and add those to the back there. And we will take our artifacts and add those to the back there. And again, we will keep our art cards in the back. And now we have our Lonely Troll Inn. And this has a new character, so we will go ahead and add that to our character. I'll probably never play that character. It seems way too difficult for me. We have our new henchmen, so those are going to be added there. I'm going to put those behind our characters. And then we have a new set of trappings, so we can add those to our trappings deck. Then I guess if you wanted to keep things separated by your expansions without mixing the things in, you could also use these to keep your different expansions that have cards for all of the decks divided into those expansions there. And you can easily set those back to their normal state by looking at the icon on the back there. But I will just keep, we can just keep our art card here. So we have the Lonely Troll Inn, we have Beasts of Burdens, and Realms and Relics, loot, and lore I've already mixed in. So that way we have dividers for the art cards there. We have these two, I think, promo cards that were here. This was an old piece of paper from the guy who gave me the game, from my buddy Josh. We can keep those back in there. And then I don't think I'll need these anymore, but I'll go ahead and put those in there. And then we can put all of our tokens and dice and gold in the box. Make sure our green D6 gets in there. And then we can put in our copy of Tin Helm, because Tin Helm fits right inside there. And then we can take all of our documentation and put that right on top. Close up the box, and there we have it. We have now our complete version of Iron Helm. I really do hope that this really is the last expansion for the game. I love it when a game is done. And now we have everything in here. We have this whole world of Iron Helm now exists in this small little box with so much variety, so many different ways to play, so many variables that you could play this game for a really long time and really never see the same sequence of things, of encounters and weird things to explore and different strategies to try to come up with to win the game. So, all right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed taking this look at all the stuff you will get in your Iron Helm chest. It is delivering now, and that is from Gamecrafter. And it's probably also, if you didn't jump in on the crowd sale for some reason, you can just go ahead and order a copy now, today, and enjoy it with your game of Iron Helm. So take it easy, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.